Netherlands. The Netherlands, a country in northwestern Europe, is known for a flat landscape of canals, tulip fields, windmills, and cycling routes. Amsterdam, the capital, is home to the Rijksmuseum van Gogh Museum and the house where Jewish diarist and Frank hid during WWII. Panelside mansions and a trove of works from artists including Rembrandt and Vermeer remain from the city's 17th century. Netherlands, country located in northwestern Europe, also known as Holland. Netherlands means low-lying country. The name Holland Woodland was originally given to one of the medieval cores of what later became the modern state and is still used for 2 of its 12 provinces, North Holland and Zuid-Holland. Land. The Netherlands is bounded by the North Sea to the north and west, Germany to the east, and Belgium to the south. If the Netherlands were to lose the protection of its dunes and dikes, the most densely populated part of the country would be inundated. This highly developed part of the Netherlands, which generally does not lie higher than about 3 feet above sea level, covers more than half the total area of the country. Plant and animal life. Most wild Dutch plant species are of the Atlantic district within the Euro-Siberian phytogeographic region. Gradients of salt and winter temperature variations cause relatively minor zonal differences in both wild and garden plants from the coast to more continental regions. The effects of elevation are negligible. Vegetation from coastal sand dunes, muddy coastal areas, slightly brackish lakes, and river deltas is especially scarce in the surrounding countries. Animal life is relegated by region according to vegetation. Seabirds and other sea life, such as mollusks, are found especially in the muddy Waddenzee area and in the extreme southwest. Migrating birds pass in huge numbers through the Netherlands or remain for summer or winter stay. Species of water birds and marsh and pasture birds are numerous. People of Netherlands. Ethnic groups. Popular belief holds that the Dutch are a mixture of Frisians, Saxons, and Franks. The contention that the autochthonous inhabitants of the region were a mixture of pre-Germanic and Germanic population groups, who in the course of time had converged on the main deltaic region of Western Europe. The Kingdom of the Netherlands has attracted countless immigrants through the centuries. A strong impetus was the principle of freedom of thought, which engendered the relative tolerance that developed in the 16th and 17th centuries. Languages. The language in the whole of the country is Dutch, sometimes referred to as Netherlandic, a Germanic language that is also spoken by the inhabitants of Northern Afrikaans. An official language of South Africa is a variant of the Dutch spoken by 17th century immigrants from the Holland and Zeeland regions. In the major cities especially, many people are fluent in several languages, reflecting the country's geographic position, its history of occupation, and its attraction for tourists. Demographic trends. Exceptionally high fertility rates until the 1960s contributed to the Netherlands being one of the world's most densely populated countries. Since then, trends have shifted, owing mainly to wider use of birth control pills, a consequence of growing secularization, and to the increased participation of women in higher education and the workforce. At the beginning of the 21st century, Dutch birth and death rates were both among the world's lowest, resulting in a somewhat older society, with most population growth arising from immigration. Agriculture. The country's agricultural land is divided into grassland, arable farmland, and horticultural land. Dutch dairy farming is highly developed. The milk yield per acre of grassland and the yield per cow are among the highest in the world. A good percentage of the total milk production is exported after being processed into such dairy products as butter, cheese, and condensed milk. Meat and eggs are produced in intensively farmed livestock holdings, where enormous numbers of pigs, calves, and poultry are kept in large sheds and fed mainly on imported fodder. Labor and taxation. Dutch employers are organized mainly in separate but closely cooperating organizations, one Roman Catholic and Protestant and one non-denominational. The labor force at a tripartite organization before the Socialist and Roman Catholic unions merged as Netherlands Trade Union Federation, leaving the Protestant Union, the National Federation of Christian Trade Unions, and a few small independent organizations far behind in membership. Transportation and telecommunications. In the Netherlands, transportation is of special importance because the country functions as a gateway for the traffic of goods between Western Europe and the rest of the world. Trade flows through Dutch harbors, continuing its passage by a riverboat, train, truck, and pipeline. Maritime traffic accounts for more than half the total amount of goods loaded and unloaded in the Netherlands. Health and welfare. Following World War II, the Netherlands developed an elaborate system of social security, providing all its citizens with universal health care and old age and unemployment benefits. All citizens are entitled to 4 national insurance schemes: the General Old Age Pensions Act, the General Widows and Orphans Act, the Exceptional Medical Expenses Act, and General Disability Benefits. There also are 4 employee insurance schemes: the Sickness Benefits Act, the Disability Insurance Act, the Compulsory Health Insurance Act, and the Unemployment Insurance Act. Education. All primary, secondary, and higher education is provided by either governmental or private institutions. The latter are, with a few exceptions, run by Protestant and Roman Catholic organizations. All private schools are, when they conform to legally fixed standards, financed from governmental funds on an equal footing with their public counterparts. Dutch secondary education is not a comprehensive system but one consisting of several tracks. Cultural life. The cultural life of the Netherlands is varied and lively. Dutch painting and crafts are world-renowned, and Dutch painters are among the greatest the world has ever known. The Dutch themselves take great pride in their cultural heritage, and the government is heavily involved in subsidizing the arts, while abjuring direct artistic control of cultural enterprises. Daily life and social customs. The symbols of Dutchness: wooden shoes, lace caps, tulips, and windmills are known throughout the world, but they tell only a small part of the story of contemporary life in the Netherlands, except in places such as Volendam and Marken, and on occasions of national celebration. Traditional dress long ago gave way to a style of dress in line with that of the rest of Northern Europe. Flowering bulbs and tubers, including tulips, remain an important export commodity, and various festivals celebrate them. They are also displayed in the annual spring flower exhibition at Keukenhof Gardens and in venues such as the Alsmeer Flower Market.